Okay, we're gonna have an interview with G1.
스타테일
And
컨티가
of course, our
IM
coaches.
경기를 시작하기 전에 양 팀의 감독님을 만나보는 시간 두 분의 명감독님 소개해드리겠습니다. 스타테일 컨티의 김광복 감독님 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
네, IM의 강동원 감독님 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
네, 오늘 감독님 1세트 최진성 선수가 정말 엄청난 기세의 안상원 선수를 꺾었습니다. 마치 2연속 올킬이라도 할 기세인데 혹시 최진성 선수도 2연속 올킬 욕심내던가요?
What do you think, Wolf? Do you think
처음에
both the coaches want to win?
엔트리를
I think so, man.
종현이가 도발을 하고 여기 저희 정 감독이 도발을
There's
하고
Bomber,
해서
of course.
해볼 때면
The
해봐라
star
해서
of the first
냈는데
game.
지금 종현이가 없어서 좀 김이 빠진 상태예요. 그래서 지성이 자체도 그 IM전에서 이제 빅3가
I can't quite hear what they're saying, but we'll get word in a moment.
그렇군요. 오늘 과연 최진성 선수가 얼마큼 더 잘해줄지 또 기대해보겠습니다.
She's asking if do you expect him to all kill 2 times in a row? And
네, 조금 아쉬운 면이 있는데
basically he said his condition's really good today.
또 2세트
So
준비 잘 해오셨을
he wants to
것
play
같아요.
first,
최진성 선수한테 무너질 수
and,
없잖아요.
그쵸.
네, 안호진 선수
he might
믿으시나요?
actually be able to do
잘해줄
it.
거라고
That's basically what he
믿으세요?
said.
믿고 있고요. 어차피 모든 경우의 수를 해왔어요. 1세트 질 것도 생각을 해서 준비를 했기 때문에 뭐 최지성이라고 별반 다른 테란이랑 다를 거라 생각 안 해요. 그래서 1경기 때 조금 저희 선수가 조금 무리하긴 했는데 뭐 그냥 그래요. 이길 수 있을 것 같아요. 예.
네,
He prepared for every
오늘
possibility,
어떤 준비를 해오셨을지
and
또 기대가
of
되고
course he even
선수의
foresaw
경기를
that he might lose the
기대가
first set to Bomber.
아까 방송 시작하기 전에 제가 살짝 들은 바로는
So he thinks his team
IM
still has a
팀에서
pretty good
청심환을
chance
먹은
because he's
선수가 있다,
prepared for every
이렇게
possibility.
들었는데요. 혹시 알려주실 수 있나요?
And Bomber's just another Terran,
제가 먹었습니다. 긴장이 너무
and he has a
돼서
lot of
제가
players who could
먹었고요.
beat Bomber.
반병 남았는데 드릴까요?
There are some of those players now, perhaps.
네, 이게 호락호락
I
알려주시지
still haven't told you guys
않는군요.
what
과연
map it is
감독님이
yet,
정말
but I'm gonna keep it a
드셨을지.
secret.
어떻게
a little
생각하세요,
longer.
감독님? 정말 감독님이 드셨을 것 같으세요? 아니면 다른 선수가 먹었다고 생각하시나요?
제가 생각해도 그 저희 강동원 감독이 먹었을 것 같습니다.
그렇군요. 과연 청심환의 행방이 어디에 있는지 또 오늘 청심환 덕을 볼 수 있을지 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다.
All right, and
오늘
the
IM 팀의
StarTale
엔트리가
coach
굉장히
says that
화제가
he
됐습니다.
brought some medicine
오늘,
to keep him
임대석
from getting
선수,
nervous,
정재현 선수, 또
and he
황강호
lost
선수가
it.
없는
So he thinks the
IM인데요.
IM coach
오늘
took
어떤
it,
경기
gave it to his
펼쳐질지
players.
관심이 모아지고 있어요.
사실
That's
뭐
funny.
제대 같은 경우는 잘 안 나왔잖아요. 걔네들 없이도 잘해왔기 때문에 뭐 굳이 저로서도 조금은 타격은 있다고 생각은
Clearly
하는데
these guys,
충분히 우리 밑에
are
선수들
friends with
잘하고
each other.
있고
These
준비
coaches
잘해왔으니까
poking a little
잘할
fun
거라
here.
생각하고요. 결국 또 스타테일 정도는
And
그 3명 없이
IM says, the IM coach says that even though they don't have Nesty, Lucira, and MVP today,
네, 굉장히 여유가 있으시네요. 감독님
His team
오늘 IM
is,
엔트리 보셨는데
very deep.
어떠신가요?
솔직히 그 종현이 재덕이 강호가 있을 때는
and
좀
Nesty doesn't usually play in the GSTL, so he doesn't miss him that
없다
much.
보니까 당연히
Makes
이겨야
sense.
되고 그 지게 되면 그 손해는 그러니까 이겨야 본전인 상황이 되다 보니까 좀 부담스러운 게 사실입니다.
저희는 잃을 게 없어요.
그렇군요.
Yeah, Nesty
오히려
doesn't like playing
부담은
the team
스타테일
league, so they play in the
쪽에.
finals.
그렇군요. 오늘 경기를 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다.
Anyway, he said that
감독님 오늘 승리하시면
because the IM
최초로
team doesn't have their
GSTL
ace
통산 10승을
players,
달성하게
there's
됩니다.
pressure on the StarTale coach
벌써
to beat
10승인가요?
IM
네.
today.
저기는 몇 승이에요? 저희는 사실 작년 메이 때 한 번 대회를 쉬었는데도 불구하고 저희가 저기보다 많이 이겼죠. 이게 전력 차이입니다.
잘났습니다.
네, 감독님 오늘 반드시 이겨서 승자전 가서 프라임 팀 만나야죠. 감독진
Wow.
맡으시고
And
오늘
yeah, the IM
승리하시면
coach says that
2연승인데
even though
자신 있으세요?
they have, even though they missed
자신은
GSTL
있고요.
May last year,
생각이 전혀
they
안
still
들겠지만
have more wins in
이길
Team
거라고
League,
확실하고
so they're pretty
선수들
confident they
자체도
can beat
다
StarTale.
이길 것 같습니다.
네, 두 분 감독님 모두 자신감을 보여주시고 계신데요. 명경기를 제조하는 두 팀인 만큼 오늘 승패를 떠나서 또 멋진 경기 펼쳐주시리라 믿습니다. 여러분 끝까지
Alright.
오늘의 진검승부
So,
지켜주시고요.
some
저는 잠시
bold,
수비팀 인터뷰로
albeit humorous
인사드리겠습니다.
words from the coaches there.
I like when the coaches know each other and
Yeah.
they say other things than I want to show good matches.
I want to show
I
good
want to win.
matches.
I want our team to win. I think we can win. I want to show good matches.
Yeah, we had good interviews yesterday too with
Yeah. Coach Win, man, he's a
Coach the Win and Boxer, talking about the old days. Anyway, so we're going to get into game number 2 here in just a minute. And before the break, I told you about how I am a little bit puzzled by the fact that they picked Happy. And here's why. Out of his last 10 games against Terran, he's won one of them. One single game. And that was in Code A recently where he won 1 game out of the best of 3 against Maru, which means he actually lost that set.
He lost to a 14-year-old kid, man.
He lost to a 14-year-old kid.
He has
So-
shown in the past that he's got a lot of different variety in his matchups, especially against Zerg, for example.
Oh, he just doesn't lose to Zergs.
Yeah.
That's why I'm puzzled, is it's like, well, you need to send out someone that can actually beat Bomber, and then if StarTale sends out a Zerg, Happy is a player who could easily beat almost endless Zergs and Protosses on StarTale's lineup. And that's what StarTale, they have a lot of Zergs, you know? They've got some Protosses, so...
Is Calm Before the Storm. Now this is going to be really interesting because I think if he has chosen this map and IM's coach, who's obviously very smart, is considering him to be the player to beat Bomber on Calm Before the Storm, we're going to see something special here, I think. That something special may just be a macro game where he out-macros Bomber, but that's not something that we're expecting to see, so we'll see. He may go gas first. Only time will tell. The map is up and loaded. We're going to jump into the second game between StarTale and Incredible Miracle.
All right, down here in the bottom right, he's already gotten 1 win for his team so far today after getting 5 a couple weeks ago. He is...
StarTale! Vamos!
There he is, looking confident. Very, very kind of mild-mannered guy, but when it comes to his gaming, he's always confident. Not quite cocky, but close to it. Anyway, up here in the top right is his opponent.
I am epic!
I'm glad Street Fighter voice guy is happy. What? I just looked over at this sign, and if you guys see it, you're going to say, what the also?
There's a weird chirp in the audience. I don't know. Maybe you guys will see it, maybe you won't. I'm like, I think I know what the guy's going for with the sign, but like, we won't give him the attention he deserves, like, or the attention he wants.
That wasn't the sign, that was in Korean. Anyway, yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens here. I mean, it's hard to out-macro Bomber. I mean, if that's his plan to out-macro Bomber, then
well, he's going to go Command Center first.
Yeah, he's going to go Command Center first. The only thing I could think of is maybe he's hoping that Bomber will go for a bio play, and he'll go for mech, because this is a map where you can just get those 3 bases and max out on mech and push out, and that's what mech's supposed to do, and it's really easy to take those 3 bases on this map. It's a very good map for mechanized play, and I don't understand that at all. Foxer, Michael Jackson. What?
I mean, I guess he has successfully like made a sign that doesn't make sense that like might make a few people laugh. I guess he's done that.
I guess so.
I guess he's done it.
Well, someone's got to do it. Actually, where's the... There's a Korean guy that always comes here and always makes cheerfuls, and half the time they're like nonsensical English cheerfuls, and he's not here today, so luckily we got some other fans to fill in for him today. But anyway, just to finish that thought real quick, there's a lot of enclosed spaces. It's a really good map for doing a big mech push, so Bomber doesn't always go mech. He mixes it up. So if Happy goes for like a standard slow mech push play, and look at that statue. All right, good look
What
at
is
that
going on?
You know what I think when I look at that statue?
No, I don't.
Foxer, Michael Jackson.
For some reason, I knew you were gonna say that. Like, I was like, I don't know. I guess the statue kind of looks like Michael Jackson. Like,
makes about as much sense. Anyway, that may be the plan. That's all. I'm just throwing it out there. You guys can decide whether or not you think it's true. But,
where is that statue, anyways? Actually, it's not in the center. Where did it go? I don't actually know where that statue is, man.
Is it in one of the pits on the side or something? No, it must be one of these intersections where the little things are.
Well, we'll
Anyway,
find them later, but
we'll look at them later.
More importantly, of course, both players have their expansion up. The tech has started, though, for Bomber, whereas, or rather, the tech is a little bit ahead for Bomber. Happy's tech is actually just finishing up here his factory. He's getting a reactor on his barracks.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean...
Oh, there.
Oh,
Okay.
they're zooming in on a broken statue.
There it is. That's where it is. It is at the intersections.
So
Okay.
there you go. There's another statue. We're like looking at the observer screen, looking around. Where are these funny statues? So yeah, Bomber is going to transition this starport over to the tech lab, it looks like, and probably get out some quick Banshees. And I mean, that's the advantage of what these two guys are doing. Happy got his command center first, his economy's going to be a little better. Bomber got his barracks first, his tech's going to be a little bit better. So they're both going to have to try and make use of that advantage.
Both players dropped that very common Korean 6-minute scan, and they both saw the starport timing. To make a Banshee after scouting your opponent's starport timing actually seems a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he'll have a Viking no matter what by the time I get there. They're both going Cloak.
They're both going Cloak and Banshee.
One player, I don't know which, started a Raven and then canceled it. I think it was actually Happy. He started a Raven and then canceled it, then made the Banshee and the Cloak.
That's surprising.
This becomes a funky situation with Cloak against Cloak. Sometimes it comes down to, are you microing your Banshee, or are you microing your Marines against your opponent's Banshee?
Yeah.
What are you looking at the time that can sometimes basically turn the tide? At these positions, Banshees are going to be better for Bomber actually than they will be for Happy, because Happy's Banshee has to fly further than Bomber's. Just to be perfectly frank, like that's actually just the way it is.
Yeah, and it's going to have a better Bombers though is going to have a little bit better angle of approach to the expansion. As you can see right now, Bomber's getting in here and it's going to get some kills here just because he was able to approach that natural from a very good direction, whereas the Banshee of Happy is now approaching Bomber's base and it's not going to be able to get any free kills before he realizes what's going on.
Yeah.
Look at this ballsy Banshee. It's going to encounter actually a Viking just popped out for Happy, I think. Yeah, it did, but he's cloaked.
Yeah, he's gotten 4 kills so far. Meanwhile, still...
Oh, wow. Guess that Banshee
did more than I thought it would, to be perfectly honest.
How many kills did that end up getting?
I think about 6. I think both players are getting about 6 kills in general. As you can see, well, we didn't put up the tab, but 6 workers killed for Bomber, 1 worker killed for Happy, but he was able to kill in total 7 units. So
Happy was?
Oh no, actually I misread that. He only killed 3.
No, he only killed 3. So he got an SCV and a couple of Marines, and that's it. So Bomber's Banshee doing a little bit better.
Just a little bit surprised that both players went for Cloak like that. Now they both have a Raven out. There's like no more Banshees. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, that was really weird.
I guess that's it. Like you both spent 400 gas to get Cloak and to defend against Cloak, but no real damage was done.
That was a little strange. I would have expected, I don't know. I would have expected one or both of them to say, oh, well, he's getting that, so I'm just going to switch up and get my own Raven first instead. I don't know. I think it would have been smarter. But what's done is done. It's now a battle for the air superiority. They both have Ravens, so they're both going to have point defense drones to put down if it comes to a Viking battle.
Happy's going for mech, and Bomber is going for Marine tank.
There you go. Very interesting.
A little bit of
look at this. He's gonna, this could be very dangerous. He's dropping down a couple auto turrets. Bomber may have just suicided those Vikings, actually. The Raven is barely going to get away, but as soon as those Vikings lift up into the air, they would die to the enemy Vikings. So,
well, the thing is, he's just not going to lift them. I like this choice.
Yeah, he might as well make the most of this situation. He's burnt the Vikings. They're dead. Might as well get some SCV kills.
Worker count now 53 to 51 in favor of Bomber. Even with 16 workers killed, what does that tell you? A faster third command center really does help. I am happy with 3 orbitals now up and dropping mules. Whereas the third command center for Bomber, he did just make it into an orbital. He has not, however, moved it down, so he's not getting any additional saturation. Hasn't even dropped his first mule on it yet. 3 tanks at a time being cranked out, as well as 2 Hellions. Happy, looking like he is on his way to a better composition. He's got a more solid economy right now, and I think he's way ahead, despite losing so many SCVs.
Yeah, definitely. Very impressive by Happy, just despite losing a lot of SCVs, keeping the SCV count even, and he's just gonna have better tech as well.
For some reason, there's 2 siege tanks in the middle of the map. For some reason,
it's kind of weird. They were looking for the statue.
Complete.
They passed it. They don't have very good eyesight. I hope those aren't the siege tanks that go into siege mode, man. They need to see fire. I guess those siege tanks are enough to hold the tower against Hellions, though.
Look at this. An SCV of Happy trying to be a spy, trying to blend in by mining Bomber's minerals at his third. But the Marauders spotted him. You know what they do to spies in Bomberland?
I don't know.
They're put to death.
Okay. Is that so? I thought they scolded him, gave him a warning or something.
No, they're put to death, man. It's a fascist police state in Bomber's territory.
Is that so? I gotta study up on Bombers.
He has no mercy.
I gotta study up on Bombers government, man. High-sec auto tracking being researched now.
Interesting.
And he's adding additional turrets at his third base, so he really wants to make sure that's safe against bio drops. The Hellions are gonna get caught in the middle of the map, but he's killing a lot of units with them before they go down. Probably should have just stayed and fought there. That did actually push Bomber into the supply lead, but only 4 supply up right now. The factory count up to 5 now. 4 Hellions and 3 Siege Tanks at a time being pumped out, +1 weapons for vehicles will be finishing up very soon. But 2-2 is on the way for Bomber's infantry units, and Bomber is actually moving out. He's going to try to set up some sort of bio-contain, I think, with a nice concave outside of the entrance to the natural.
Yes, indeed. And this is really interesting. I mean, we were just talking the other day about how the mech style tends to win if it's just a slow push, if you're really patient about it. But we did just watch the other day, you know, a bio player beat the mech style just by the mech player making a lot of mistakes and losing all their Hellions, that kind of thing. Who was that? For some reason, I forgot who that was. What was that match where we saw them like throw away all their Hellions?
I'm not particularly sure which one you're talking about. I know at MLG I saw Gumio lose to the STC, and that was pretty surprising.
Where that Marauder drop killed like 10 Hellions. We just cast it the other day. I don't remember who that was. Anyway, point being,
these Hellions are going to do a lot of damage. Well, not as much as he would have liked, actually.
Point being, Bomber needs to take advantage of his mobility and try and be more active on the map, because right now he's just kind of letting Happy just sit back and macro up, and that's not what he wants. And here this drop is not doing too much damage, but still being annoying, and it's actually keeping Bomber in his base, although half of his army, half of Bomber's army is actually moving out. He's just got within range of this sensor tower.
Oh, he's going to go for a really big drop here. The thing, though, is I don't know if point defense drones will be enough to stop these turrets. It looks like it just barely will. A lot of units still going down.
Oh, wow. He actually like got scared and ran the medevacs away. He saved 2 of them. A lot of units did get out, but he's only going to kill the turrets. And that's pretty much it. Well, actually, he might get some Hellions as well.
Yeah, it's...
Not with that Banshee there. Not too many.
Not too many at all. Supply a little bit better now for Happy, but the composition's still much better overall. Bomber has shown no ability to transition out of mech here. He's actually going to attack into the natural, but there's a pretty solid defense here. He's got no way out, Moletrap. He doesn't even have the ability to try to take control of the air and do that, where a lot of bio players try to go for the Banshee or Battlecruiser transition.
Yeah, they'll switch and secretly get a lot of Vikings when their opponent has stopped making Vikings.
He can't even really make very many medevacs with how much control his opponent has over the air.
And, I mean, the other thing is, with this style of play, Bomber should be getting a ton of bases around the map and a lot of production so that he can use the fact that he's based on minerals instead of gas to reproduce faster. But he's not doing that either. He's just barely taken a 4th base. He's not that far ahead.
A planetary, oddly enough, against mech, I find that to be super weird. Helps defending its Hellions, I suppose, but that is about it. Now, there's a planetary, actually, we haven't even talked about this. There's a planetary at the natural for Happy, which is going to help him hold off any bio pushes, which he will encounter one. There's siege tanks and a planetary here. He's actually going to go for the planetary. Repairing SCVs coming off here.
He does scan to get vision of the tanks. Point defense drone is down by those turrets, so he can do a drop in the back as well. But here's the thing, the giant mech push has landed in Bomber's natural expansion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a base trade.
And it's not even really going to be a trade, Moletrap. Happy is going to crush Bomber's push. He's got so many siege tanks in position in his main base, the Bend, and the Bomber is going to be taken out here. No all kill from him today. GG!
Well, Happy wins after all.
I
guess the confidence in him was well warranted.
Yeah. stylistically, he went for something that was very good for Calm Before the Storm. Was good against Bomber's playstyle there. Bomber can mech, but generally speaking, he does like to go bio.
Yeah.
Happy knew that, took that into account.
Exactly.
And like the IM coach said, he said, I have actually planned on a strong possibility of Seed not winning the first game. And I'm prepared to take out Bomber.
Yeah.
I have a lot of players who can beat Bomber. It looks like Happy's a new one. And because of the slight gamble to use Happy, now
they're in a really strong
they can't
position.
use a Zerg really. They're not even really going to feel very comfortable putting out a Protoss. So it's a tough position for StarTale now.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that is really interesting. I mean, it's just like we were kind of talking about at the beginning. It's kind of what they planned on. They're played against the player. You know, they're like, okay, well, we know Bomber's probably going to go for a bio style. He tends to favor that. Let's just out-mech him on a perfect mech map.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. It was like so, like textbook. The mech play, usually you see them get 3 bases and then move out with a maxed army. And he was so intent on that, he even put a planetary at the front of his natural, being like, this is all I want. I'm just going to cover these 3. I'm not even going to try and put this planetary to 4th. I'm just going to protect these 3 bases, get 1 big army, and run you over. And that's exactly what happened.
He had so many siege tanks in his main prepared for drops.
Yeah.
He even had the craziest turret ring. The craziest turret ring that like point defense drone was barely, not even enough for. Like, he lost so many medevacs. I feel that Bomber just got outplayed. Bomber tried to find weaknesses, but Happy didn't give him anything. Bomber didn't play the style as well as he could have. But anyway, we're moving on here. We're going to see who they're
StarTale
gonna pick.
send out next?
I think it could be Ace, but it's going to be actually. I believe that's
Sound.
I think that's either Sound or Tiger.
Okay, I would say Sound would be a good choice, but we're going to find out who that is in just a second here.
Yeah, I actually don't recognize some of these newer StarTale players.
Because I think you still want to send a Terran versus Happy. There's no way you can send a Zerg after Happy.
That's actually
it's actually Hack, who is a Terran, yeah. So,
I can't recognize Hack without his ZeNEX jersey, man.
There you go.
Yeah, he's used to be known as Nuke as well. He's been around for a while.
I think isn't Hack is like the Korean word for nuke, right? That's what I've heard.
I actually do not know that.
Yeah, I was told that once. He actually has done pretty well in the team league, apparently, if he goes out first or last. Second, 0%. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Hack actually all-killed FXOpen last season for ZeNEX.
Oh, yeah.
And during that time, he started to play in a lot of online tournaments and did pretty well in them.
Yeah, this kid has a lot of potential.
He took TL Opens out. I think he was able to win 2 of those, if I'm not mistaken. I know he got 1 at the very least. He and his teammate at the time, Ice Cream, were tearing things up.
That's such a great idea. There's Happy, though.
To use Terran against Happy makes sense statistically, but Happy did show us a pretty good game last game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that you want to send a Terran out because he's bad at TVT. I'm saying you want to send a Terran out because he's so good at TVZ and very good at TVP as well. You know, it's not. I wouldn't say, despite his bad stats, the way he played there, I would definitely not say it's his bad matchup. I'd just say it's less good than the others.
Yeah, I actually agree. The map is Antigua, so to go for Antigua means likely he will not go for bio play. It's not a good map for bio, really. If the center of the map can be controlled, it's so hard. We'll see what Hack's plan is here, though. See if he can come back, take his team into the lead at the GSTL.